Welcome back to the Love Inspired Leadership podcast. I'm so grateful that you are here. And this is the place where we get to gather and ignite authentic transformation and really feel the joy of impact through the power of having honest conversation about what love-inspired leadership is, what it does, and what that represents. And today, I am profoundly honored to welcome that dynamic, heart-centered couple. Ron and Tippy Missick are consultants and coaches from Tron 4, and I will tell you about what Tippy does within her neuro-fitness a little bit later on in the podcast, which is incredibly intriguing. And, you know, Tippy's expertise as an ADHD and neuroscience coach transforms people's lives in many different stages of life. And Ron is a true passionate mentor, and he is a living kidney donor. We're going to have some great conversation about that today. So together, they pour this incredible purpose and passion into helping others thrive with hope, health, and connection. So Ron and Tippy, you have an incredibly powerful story that I invited you to come on this podcast because I wanted the audience to realize your story of radical generosity and the faith that moved you, Ron, to become a living kidney donor. So, I mean, I just think it offers a true breathtaking new perspective on what it means to lead and lead with courage in our lives. So we're going to take a deep dive into how faith, courage, and partnership can empower every single listener to say yes to their own hard, important callings. That is an opportunity for every individual who is here today. So where we're going to go first is this concept of faith-inspired action and the foundation of support. So, Ron, I'm going to start with you. Okay. We're going to just get to the heart of this story. Okay. So can you take us back to the moment that you first felt that internal voice, that calling to say yes to become a living donor? And one other question to add to that. And what role did your faith play in helping you make that decision?
Thank you, Con. Very good questions. First of all, let's talk about faith. We should be conditioned by faith to act in the moment in faith. And one of the things that I did was I had a conversation with a friend of mine, Alan, and I called him one Saturday morning to speak with him about a business proposition, only to find out that he had had a very difficult week. And I say it in that term only because Alan had just found out that he would not be a suit for a kidney donation to his wife, Elena. And so they were both devastated because of that news. I, on the other hand, was not aware of the plight that they were in. And so when he told me about it, I felt the hurt that he was feeling to a certain extent, not as deeply, because I didn't know the complexity of what was going on. But in that moment, I felt led and drawn to want to do something about it. So when I hung up with Alan, I had a conversation with Tippy. And I said, I would like to see if I can qualify for this. I'd like to do this. And she, without hesitation, agreed and was supportive from that very first declaration and desire on my part. So the next thing was to, if I had to find out, what's the process? Well, she said, call Pastor Tyler. So I did. And he informed me that the information was in the church bulletin, which I must say I was totally ignorant of, hadn't read the church bulletin in some time. And so I went on the church bulletin, saw the link, put my name in, and a lot of time went by, and then I forgot about it.
Oh, well, can I just circle back to that moment? Because I call it a miracle, magical moment. I mean, when you listened within yourself that you wanted to do something, what was that moment like? Because that's what I want our audience to realize is that, it's an elevated level of openness and curiosity and wonder within our own internal voice of wisdom that's guiding us. And so what was it, a simple yes, or did you kind of go back and forth within yourself before you went and talked to Tippy? That's what I'm curious about. Or was it just an instant, well, I want to do something here. So what was it for you?
It was more the latter. And I say that because it was and is as natural as you see somebody about to walk go into a door, either before you or after you, and you just hold the door open for them. So it wasn't something that I had to think of to do. It was a natural outflowing that I said earlier that was already in preparation, because that was the faith that I believe that God had placed in me to act in the moment in faith. And it's not something I had to muster up courage. It was already there.
Right. Present. And you knew. I love this story. I just, honestly, my heart, when you told me and when I read about it, my heart just got wrapped around it. And I'm getting truth bumps right now, because as individuals in this world, I mean, imagine how different the world will be when people make a decision, be decided to make a difference in someone else's life in whatever form that is. Anyway, I just find this whole conversation so inspiring. So Tippy, let me ask you, what, you walked with him every single step of this journey alongside Ron. What was it like for you as his partner to watch him say yes to something so courageous? And how has that deepened your own faith, purpose, passion in helping others? Like, so how has it changed that too?
So really, Ron and I, our relationship has always been based on faith. And we're both very strong Christians. And we know that God's not going to ask us or request us to do something unless he really wants us to do it. So our faith is so that when this opportunity came up and Ron asked me, I said, how do you say no to God? You can't. You're going to do it. Let's just do it. And there was never any apprehension, never any question. I knew it was the journey that God wanted us to be on, and so we took it.
Exactly. I love it. And so the courage to act on faith is truly a definition of what I call love-inspired leadership. And So where I'd like to go next is I'd like to look at, I know there was quite a few obstacles that you had to face along this path of purpose and this journey that appeared once you said yes. So, I think every journey of faith has challenges. And what were some of the obstacles? I'm going to go back to Ron for this one, that you faced and along the way, both physically, emotionally, and how did you walk through them together?
Well, again, it's amazing what happens when you're committed to doing a task. Your focus and purpose and energies are designed to move forward to complete it, to accomplish it. So having made the decision, just being willing to continue to move forward. So just wanting to donate is admirable, but that doesn't get you to where you need to be. There are qualifications that you must go through. First of all, how do you know this person socially? So there are qualifications: psychological, social, financial. Are you being coerced to do this?
Right.
And so once those things are satisfied by the kidney organizations, because there are many. There's National Kidney, there's a Kidney Fund, and then it's National Kidney Association. So there are a few of them. But I was with the first through Mass General, and then because it was not a direct donation, it had to go through the Kidney Fund. Just a little bit of a background. However, there were tests along the way that I had to accomplish.
Right.
Physical endurance, medical status to meet or get better or be better than, and everything that happened was just another step in that. You gotta understand, this is the first time through. You only donate once, a kidney once. You can't donate two and be alive. So live kidney donor is quite a thing in that you have to be committed to it. We did have some difficulties along the way. And thank God we were able to surmount that, and get beyond that.
Right. And, for Tippy, for you, as a neuro-fitness coach, which I love. So what tools or support systems or shifts did you rely on to manage the stress? Because how long did this period of time take to, just so the audience can understand, from you saying yes to actually donating the kidney?
It was over a year.
Wow.
It was about this time in 23, went all through 24, and then donated. So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of things that have to be in alignment in order for this to flow and to work, basically.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So, Tippy, I'm going to go back to you as far as, managing the stress within your own and Ron's, mental and physical health, the strength during that intense time, because you mentioned psychological tests too, Ron, and physical and social, and there's just to make sure it's a match, right? Mm-hmm. So, Tippy, how was it for you going through that?
It really was a piece of cake because of my faith. And the only times that I ever questioned anything was when Ron was in a head-on collision, which caused an issue. And then after that, he tested positive for latent TB that he was exposed to years ago. And there were a couple of things. And I know, when you take this faith and you go with it, there's always going to be obstacles because that's the way life is.
Yes.
And we knew that no matter what happened, we were moving forward until they told us we couldn't. But when all of these weird things happened, I thought, maybe I should just ask him. And each time I would say, you still want to do it?
Yeah. And
his comment was, absolutely, my eyes are on this kidney going to Elena. Wow. He never wavered, never. So for me, it wasn't stressful.
Right.
At all. It was like a peace that we will only get through Christ. And so I wasn't stressed out at all.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So just to reflect on, a lot of my audience are business leaders. And this is a question from both of you. And I'll go back to you, Ron, in a minute, but I want to stay with Tippy right now. So how can leaders use some of these principles to sustain themselves through tough times and tough periods? So what would you recommend in, I call it holding the vision myself and having that faith in regards to what my contribution is? And I support my clients the same way. But for you, Tippy, what would you recommend leaders to reflect on?
I highly recommend that they reflect on self-care, making sure that they take time to breathe and making sure that they continue being positive through everything, no matter how difficult times are. But for me, I always tell people, breathe it out or dance it out. You can't do neither without being happy. So that's what saved for me. That was what got me through all of it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And how about for you, Ron? Is there anything that just going through this journey and exploration and facing these obstacles and challenges and holding that space of grace that I call it and faith as you move through, any recommendations that could support those business leaders out there that may be struggling right now?
Yes. So the one thing that I can say is that a vision with commitment and purpose. And I'm saying that if you are focused on the end goal and it's a laudable one, it's an achievable one, and it's a preferable one, then everything else is superfluous. You just move forward. Will there be difficulties? There's always difficulties. But here's what, getting back to faith, when God tells you to do something, He also gives you the ability to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
Never commands you to do something that you're incapable of doing.
That's right.
Everything that we're being commanded to do, and we like to say ask to do, but God never asks us to do anything. He commands us to do.
Yeah.
And so when we are obedient and do it, does it mean it's easy? No, but it's doable.
Yes.
And that's where the victory is, in being obedient.
And it's also, to me, the joy of the journey in learning about myself, learning about my level of contribution, and the humbleness of that opportunity to serve from that position is I think, inspirational, personally.
Yes, and if I may just add to that, Carol, if you're committed to the purpose that you've been placed here for. And you can only find that out if you are in communication with and being directed by your Creator. So you have to stay in the Word, the Bible. You have to read it daily for yourself, not be spoon-fed somewhere else. You really have to be proactive in your own well-being, in your own spiritual well-being, knowledge well-being, these things that if we take packaged all the time, we're always going to be conformed by those who are packaging to us. But you must edify yourself from reliable sources, no matter what that is.
Yes.
And in so doing, you inoculate yourself against all the misinformation. Misinformation is deliberate. A lie is always being told for a specific reason. It's to cause you to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily do if you knew the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when somebody obfuscates and does not tell you the truth, they're lying to you because they want you to do what they're telling you to do, not what you ought to do. Because if you knew the truth, you would call them on it and you would say, hey, enough of this, out of here. I'm not listening to you. So truth matters. And I think that's what happens when you stay in the Word and you stay being directed by God.
I agreed. And the first step of my aim high system is truth. And that's where is the foundation of everything.
It's exclusive.
Yes,
it's exclusive.
So let's move into, the integration of faith and practical health tools and systems is really powerful. And I think it reminds us of our opportunity as leaders within ourselves to look at wholeness, to look at integration, exactly what we're talking about here. So let's move into the next phase and talk about this ripple effect in how this experience has shaped your purpose and mission and message of hope for people. So I'm going to start with Ron. So looking back now, because when did the actual, you said 2023, or was it the year 2023 to 2024 when it actually happened? So when the transition happened from you to
okay. So that happened September of this year, but this year, but it was a journey getting there. Yeah. So September 9th of this year, I donated my kidney 4, but not 2. And because there was not a direct proper match, so matches age as well. So that went out to the National Kidney Registry, to someone that I haven't met yet, may never meet, but I put out that invitation for that to happen. But that does not happen unless you are physically able to recover from that that sort of intrusion in your body. So what the doctor said to me was that people come into this hospital sick, hoping to go home well. He says, you're coming in well, and we want to return you home well also. Yeah. So yeah, it was September 9th of this year.
I love it. And how has this experience fundamentally changed your life, Ron, your marriage, your mission to help others?
Oh, no, I could not have foreseen the reverberation of this kidney donation. It's been really just a marvelous journey. The number of people that I have encouraged, not even knowing, and whose lives that have been influenced to the better, is just mind-boggling for me. I did something out of conviction that felt very natural and normal to me. It did not feel like I was doing any Herculean activity or task. So, when people say, wow, that must have been really difficult. Well, for me, it wasn't. It's profound in a way, because when you really think about it, that's not what people normally do. The majority of people don't do that, even though we're all capable of it. If you qualify health-wise, that must be the situation. And you also must have a good, solid social support, and we found that through a church, through one another, through our community, and even in our association here, our neighborhood community. People came together to recognize and honor me after the fact. But it's such a blessing to receive something when you did, having done so, that seemed like, again, very natural, Carol, and to see this continued improved outpouring. Thank you, Tip. This continued outpouring of gratitude and support. It's just, it was never conceived, never thought of.
Yeah, and what I love about this is the ripple effect that has happened. You will never know how far and wide, and the impact and influence it is making on people's minds, on their hearts, on their own purpose, their own mission, their own willingness to. So that's what I really love about this. And, you are very, very humble in regards to this process. And I love that, because when we're called to step up, we just are called. And there's such a generosity and organic contribution that happens when, someone like both of you have stepped up. And I'm sure it's created new, meaningful relationships and opportunities to have incredible conversations with people. And I know your mission is going to be to share this story on stages and inspire people to take that same level of risk, of commitment, of faith, to lead with radical generosity, right?
Absolutely. Carolyn, I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking, if I think more people would participate and get involved as they knew. I did not know what was going on, so I did not ask. So knowledge is definitely power, and it empowers us to engage in a way that only we can, in a very personal way. And so having this opportunity to impact their life in a very profound way, but not just one, two, but listening to you, actually, it's even more than that, because the people that we have met, we're hearing this story, their lives are being impacted in a positive way. And so it was picked up locally in 2 newspapers, on a WBZ radio, news radio. It was even picked up in a monthly senior citizen paper from Swampscott, Massachusetts. So, and then the people hearing it and passing that along. Oh, I know that. Oh, I heard about that person. Yes. It makes a huge difference.
Well, it does. And I think it's the spark. I mean, I think that you are blessed to have had this opportunity to contribute. And I think that this podcast, my intention is just to truly hold this space for people to reach out to you, to have a conversation with both of you, to, maybe they have a loved one. I mean, it's all about education too, isn't it, Ron and Tippy? I mean, you said, well, I didn't really know anything about this before, but now you do. So you can be an advocate for other people.
Yes, absolutely. And so both Tippy and I, we are so much more now aware and in tune with living donor, volunteerism. There's power in that. Giving of yourself, there's power in giving. We are, all too often, we live in a world and in a society that looks for receiving, but you need to, there's nothing wrong with receiving, okay? Because that's somebody else's power in giving. But when you're able to reciprocate in a way that only you can, in a very purposeful, meaningful way, then you inspire other people. You can even mentor other people to give in ways that, again, that only they can. It may be helping somebody. It may be, there's so many ways we can give of ourselves. And in so doing, we end up getting so much back that it becomes almost like a perpetual motion machinery, so to speak.
It does. And I have a phrase that I repeat to myself every day. And it's, what I give is truly the opportunity of what I get to receive. And when people can realize that when we become intentional, when we become that conduit of contribution, that is when the world is a better place to be. And I know that you've taken this on, and I have my position of serving the world from my highest self too. And I just think it's a glorious adventure of giving and receiving, that there's so much incredible, infinite opportunity to do that. And I love your story because it is one of truth and one of faith and one of courage, but not courage because it's been hard, but courage because it's been consistent. It didn't matter what issue, obstacle that you face, from the car accident to, all these different psychological tests, physical tests, everything. It's the only vision you held was, we're just going to keep moving forward. Mm-hmm. We are reaching that end result of contribution. And that I think this story needs to be told from the rafters, because it's a beacon of hope for other people. And it really shows us what's possible when we make the decision to lead with an open heart and an open mind. Yeah. So thank you to both of you for sharing your truth, your conviction here today. And I just want to make sure that our listeners can connect with you in the future. We will have all the information in the show notes for this particular podcast. But Tippy, do you want to share with us how people can connect with you and Ron on social media, as well as your website? Give them that address.
Absolutely. And we would be honored if you would take advantage of our ability to maybe assist you in something that you fear you're being called to do, but you're not quite sure. So my website is neuro-fitness, neuro-fitnessacademy.com. And you can reach out to me there. And of course, I can get to Ron. And I will give you my email address. It's neuro-fitness23@gmail.com. And please don't hesitate to reach out. This journey for us has been the most beautiful journey. Not only did it bring us closer to the Lord, but it brought us closer to each other. And now we have something we can share with our family moving forward. And we're just truly blessed.
And it is what I talk about in this podcast a lot. It is your living legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So I want to thank my audience for being with us today. And for my audience, once again, if you're longing to lead and live with more clarity, energy, and purpose, I invite you to join my 21-day Sacred Insight Journey, Above the Line Living. And it is my gift to you, a daily dose of truth and inspiration with reflections to think about and journal prompts. So it will help you to rise each day as a love-inspired leader. And the last question I want to ask our audience is this. So what is hard, uncertain, yes, that you are being called to say today? So what is that voice within you that is calling you to step up and serve the world from your highest self? So thank you, Tippy and Ron. It's been a complete pleasure. And I know that our relationship and friendship will continue in the future. But I really thank you for your contribution here today on the Love Inspired Leadership Podcast.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on the Love Inspired Leadership Podcast. If today's episode stirred something in your soul, share it with someone who's ready to aim higher. Keep holding your vision, anchor in your truth, and take intentional, inspired action, because love is all there is.